Okay, it's a long story, so buckle up, Buttercup. So, Dad decides midday yesterday that he's going to get some Shetland ponies, miniature Shetland ponies. Why? Who knows? Nobody knows. He just wants them. So, he goes to get the ponies, comes back. I'm like, did you get ponies? Yeah, got two. Okay, great. When did they come in? They're going to bring them later. Okay, awesome. I got to mow. So, I get on the mower, and I'm wearing my cute little tube top with my leopard print straw hat, because she bougie, but she podunk. Okay, don't forget it. Cornbread over here. Don't want any tan lines. So I'm mowing for 3 hours. And I finish just in time. I go over there to put the mower away and I leave it out so Pappy can clean it off. And I notice that he's on the porch. And I say, well, are they fixing to deliver the ponies? And he said, yeah, they're about to be here. And I said, okay, great. I'm going to go shower. No, because they pull up. So I'm like, well, they're here. So hang out for a minute. Crackhead neighbor's stinking mama pit bull decides to mosey on over, as she has the last 2 weeks with all 4 of her puppies. She's moseying over, doing her thing. We call her Lulu because I don't really know her name, but she's cute and she's been friendly, so we'll allow it, although she's eating all the other dogs' dog food. Anyways, Lulu moseys on over because she wants to be nosy and see what's happening. She starts to nip at the horse trailer, and we're like, well, she's not ours, so if you need to kick her if she's getting in your way. And the lady says, oh, I ain't afraid to kick a dog. And we're like, okay, go for it then. So she starts to unload the 2 ponies. Well, sure enough, Lulu starts to bite the crap out of the male pony. What's his name? Storm?
Strong Storm.
Storm! Poor thing. He was put through a storm last night. Let me tell you about that. So, Lulu was eating Storm for dinner, basically. Any bite she could get of him, she did, and she tore him to shreds. Well,
But didn't kill him.
no, didn't kill him. So, Lisa, she's the... Lisa is the rescue lady who's delivering. Oh, my pores on my nose are huge. Okay. Lisa's the rescue lady who's delivering the 2 miniature Shetland ponies that Pappy decided to get yesterday. And so she hands the reins to my dad and says, hang on to them. And so he said, okay. So then she starts kicking the crap out of Lulu, which I don't blame her because she's eating Storm to death. And she's kicking the crap out of Lulu, and then Dad decides to get in there and get a kick in. Well, then Dad, lo and behold, loses his balance and falls right up into the horse trailer, and he goes down. And he ain't gonna go down quietly. He goes down with a bang, and he's on the floor going, oh, I heard something pop, I heard it pop, something popped, I'm on blood thinners. And he's holding his side, he's like, oh, and so... Of course, he lets go of Spud and Storm, the 2 miniature Shetlands, and they've ran off. Now, Lulu's chasing Storm through the field because she ain't done with her dinner yet, so how dare it up and leave. And what was the other one's name? Spud ran off the other way. So we got 2 miniature ponies going all across the state of Podunk over here. And Dad's on the ground on his back, crying out in pain, and Lisa, the rescue lady, says, call 911, tell them we need a sheriff and a medic. And I said, okay, yes ma'am. So I call 911, and I'm on the phone, and she says, what's the location? And I say, 1141 Podunk, blah, 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 blah. She says, all right, and what's the emergency? Well, right about them. Dad says, oh, I think I'm okay. I'm going to get up, and I say, shut up! Lay back down! Do not move! And he is like, I think I'm going to be okay. I think it's fine. And I say, shut up and lay down! Stop moving! And the lady, ma'am, what is your emergency? And I say, I don't know. The crackhead neighbor's pit bull decided to have my new miniature pony for dinner, and my dad's on blood thinners on the ground. And she says, well, where's he bleeding? I said, he's not. But he's wailing out in pain. And he said, I think I'm okay. Shut up! Don't talk anymore! I'm on the phone! I said, he's trying to move. And the lady on the phone says, well, ma'am, if he needs to get up and get in a more comfortable position, that's okay. And I say, no, she said you can't move. Shut up and stay there. He's so mistreated. And so, yeah. So she says, why do you need a sheriff? I said, I don't know. Probably because my crackhead neighbor's pit bull's eating my new pony for dinner. What do you think? And she says, well, okay, let me transfer you. And so she transferred me to another medic, but she didn't know how to handle all this. And so I tell the other medic, the situation, and they say, okay, well, let's get your dad assessed first. Get him in the ER. And after he's all settled in the ER, we'll get you on the phone with the sheriff. And I think, all right, whatever. Whatever you say, boss. So then they hang up, which I didn't know they were supposed to do that. I thought you were supposed to stay on the phone with the emergency until the emergency crew arrived. Apparently in Podunk, they don't care about none of that. So they said, bye, Felicia. I said, okay, see you later. So hung up the phone. Troy, my nephew, who just turned 6 and is the size of a tiny 4-year-old, what's that? Look at these. They're my audience today, thank you. Sometimes I feel funny. And then this is, wait, where are you at? Can you see?
Bill, don't cry.
He's got 3 broken ribs, poor thing.
Look, his dog is sitting by him, trying to.
But that's okay. Anyway, and then my other aunts are over there admiring my garden skills. Okay, anyway, so I tell Troy, go get Uncle Dan, because Daniel's just sitting at home with the 2 boys inside the air conditioner and not understanding anything that's going on over here in this crazy Jerry Springer livestock edition. What in the heck, So Troy runs through the field and goes to get Uncle Dan. Well, Uncle Dan comes over and is like, oh gosh, what happened? I said, well, let me just fill you in, honey bun. There's a dog in the field eating one of our new ponies. Can you just go help or something? He's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't know, get a gun. Well, he don't know how to shoot a gun, let's be honest. We don't want to. So Dad gets up off the ground, and I'm still cussing at him for doing that. Not really, I don't cuss. Sorry. And so Dad gives Daniel the BB gun, because we just don't trust him with real firearms. And instead of getting the side-by-side to drive all the way through the back of the field way over there, he takes off on foot and runs down there with this big old rifle-looking BB gun. He gets there and the lady says, there ain't even freaking babies in this. What are you bringing this to me for? So she just grabs the gun from him and starts whacking the dog with the gun instead of shooting the BBs at it. Whatever. It's cute. Dimple want to do that. Oh, anyways, what if I wasn't recording this whole time? It is, but wouldn't that be bad? I know, I'm long-winded, okay? Okay, well, what part is not? Oh, yeah, Tina. Okay. Okay, so she beat the dog. The dog finally ran back over to the crackhead's house, whatever. So then Daniel and Lisa, which, let me remind you, Lisa is the lady from the rescue who brought the Shetland ponies over, miniature Shetland ponies. And so they walk the poor slaughtered pony back up, and the medic arrives and is checking Dad out. Dad's like, well, I'm not going, because that's going to be $2,000 just for you to tell me I have a broken rib, and what are they going to do about it? And they're like, okay, well. And then they're checking out the pony, and they feel really bad for him because his junk's barely hanging on, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it was bad. And his gums are not attached to the inside of his mouth anymore. It's just not pretty. So, but Lisa says, well, he's actually not as bad as he looks. It just looks a lot worse than what he is, which is hard to believe because they look pretty bad. Well, anyway, so the medic left some stuff for, I'm not supposed to say that part, left some stuff to bandage up Storm. And then we hosed off Storm with cold water per Lisa. That's what she said to do. And she went off to the other side of the field to chase down Spud, because Spud was still having a heyday all by herself, just enjoying her 5 minutes of freedom. And she comes back, and before the medic left, they got on the phone with the sheriff department and said, get the sheriff over here now. So we were waiting on the sheriff to get here. Well, Lulu, the sweet little pit bull, not so much. She finally showed back up. Well, we were standing over near the road, and Lulu came over near the goat pen just to get herself some water because she was thirsty after all that dinner. Can you imagine? Good grief, she was parched. So she needed her some beverage, so she was drinking the goat water. Well, I was keeping a close eye on her because Storm was still over there bleeding to death, and we're waiting on the sheriff to show up. I am sorry, I'm focusing. Gosh. So, it's like my backseat driver's over here. Rude.
Are y'all vlogging?
Oh, yeah. Hi. Okay. I have to stay focused. This is not working out very well. I'm sorry. Okay, what happens next? Okay, so then the sheriff comes, and this is the good part according to Lolly. The sheriff comes, and Lulu makes her way back over to Storm right as the sheriff gets out of his vehicle, and I'm like, she's right there. She's about to come. She's coming. And she starts to get him all over again. So the sheriff pops out his pepper spray, which is brilliant. I mean, pepper spray the dog. Good grief. Don't use your firearm and eliminate her or anything. So he pepper sprays the dog in the midst
Y'all called the sheriff on
of the man who has fallen and probably broken a few ribs.
I thought in Texas
and the rescue lady who is trying to also get the pit bull off the pony. So pepper sprays the dog. The dog does not let up at all. So then he gets his baton out and starts to beat the dog with the baton. I'm sorry. I mean, I wish we didn't have to do all that, but literally she ate mouthfuls of flesh off of her brand new pony. So you have to just take matters into your own hands. So, I don't know. It's just podunk. That's what they do out here. So anyways, so the sheriff is beating the dog with a stick after pepper spraying him, and poor old dad over here is ingested all this pepper spray and is now hawking up a lung, which, you know, is very painful if you have broken ribs. Turns out he had 3 broken ribs. So sheriff, I don't know. I took the little tiny 6-year-old who's the size of a miniature 4-year-old inside the house. So I wasn't in the loop when the sheriff was there chit-chatting with everybody, but Lulu did finally leave. So I guess the pepper spray had gotten to her. It had affected her. So she left. Well, then Dad comes in the house, and I was like, well, what happened? And he said, well, I don't know. The sheriff drove over to the crackhead's house and then got back in his car and left. And then the crackhead got in his truck and is driving over here now. And I'm like, great. No, we don't have a sheriff, and now the crackhead's coming over. So I don't understand what's happening. So I go outside. Well, the crackhead pulls up and he gets out of his truck. His truck is in the road. He gets out of his truck in the road. He ain't got no front teeth. And he gets out and he says, Tina, get over here, girl. Tina, what are you doing? Tina, get in the truck. Come on, get in the truck, Tina. Well, Tina ain't having none of that. 'Cause she ain't interested in what he got because she already had dinner. Remember Storm? She full. She don't need whatever he has. So he gets back in his truck, not getting Tina or her puppies or nothing, just gracing us with his toothless presence. And he drove back over to his property. And I'm like, well, what the French toast? What are we supposed to do with that? What?
She got
What are we supposed to do with that? So he drives back home for 2 seconds, gets back in his truck and drives back over. I'm like, okay, he's coming back, whatever. Maybe he's got reinforcements. No, he still ain't got his front teeth in. Ain't nothing being reinforced. And he gets right back out of his truck and says, Tina, get in the truck, Tina, what are you doing over here, Tina? Get in the truck. So he gets, somehow, I don't know, did he pick her up? I don't know. Anyways, Tina got in the truck somehow, and Dad says, well, could you just pin your dogs up? I mean, good grief, I'm tired of them attacking my animals. And he said, well, you know, to be honest, I hadn't been home the last 2 days because I've been over at my girlfriend's house because I hadn't had no electricity. So, but to be honest, I can pin up the big ones, but them little babies, I probably can't do much about them, to be honest with you. So, okay, thank you, sir. Just to get your animals in check, please, so they can stop feasting at our brand new Shetland ponies miniature. Sorry. Okay. Well, welcome to Pappy's Ranch. Goodbye. Happy birthday to me.